What's up, guys? Roy here, and you are listening to the Balance Mill podcast series. First of all, happy summer. I know for those of you that are teachers out there, this time is great. A few weeks off, it's always a good thing. But also, for those of you that aren't teachers, I know we love the warm weather, the extra sunshine, all that mess. I know I feel good out here in Virginia Beach. So, happy summer, happy Father's Day, happy all of that stuff. Today's episode will be a dad talk. I got a dad coming on here named Rodney, and he is a dad of two kids, young boys, and he's in the military, and I know we're going to have a great talk, chat, all that mess, so sit back and enjoy, guys. All right, so here we go, Rodney.
Here we go.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I would like to say you're the first one that wanted sparkling water as their drink of choice.
I'm not the first one.
You're the first one.
I am the first one.
Yeah, usually when I say like drinks, it's been like scotch. One guy's Modelo and Jameson.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten super shit-faced on this podcast.
Well,
but
I have a 30-minute drive to get home.
I know.
I can't get shit-faced right now.
I know, but this hop water, I've never had this before. It's not bad. So it's made with like hops of beer?
I think so. I mean, it is enough to curve my cravings.
Yeah.
For beer.
Well, I'll honestly tell you I'm grateful that you're doing just water, because my birthday was Friday, and we did like a family day that turned into like barbecues and beers and getting on a bike and going somewhere else's and drinking, and then waking up and doing biking at the ocean front and
nice
going to Logstradamus and stuff like that. So
you biked there?
Well, we drove to like the 40s, one of those streets.
Okay, yeah.
And then parked and then biked the rest of the way.
Nice.
I mean, we hit a bunch of spots on the way.
Yeah.
But it was a big weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to be just drinking water.
Yeah.
And I love that you said Liquid Death.
It's good.
I know. I subscribe. I get I get a 12-pack in the mail every month.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I totally fell for their marketing scheme.
I mean, look at the can.
I know. I'm a target demographic for stuff like that. I mean, it's like heavy metal. It's like the posters are wild.
For sure.
I will support it. And I love that it's a tall boy, you know?
And you got to stay hydrated.
I know. And it's like, you talked about like curbing your thirst.
Yeah.
And so like that helps.
Yes.
I mean, I think I have like, I'll go through like 3 12-packs of sparkling water a week.
I love it.
I know. I mean,
I love it.
Yeah.
The water here, tap water in the States, is awful.
It is.
Yeah. I watched this series. I can't remember the name of it, but anyways, they went to Europe, to France, and they went around and were testing France's water, and all throughout France they have all these water stations.
Oh, you're talking about Down to Earth with Zac Efron.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
It was, right?
With the what's it called? The people that taste wine.
Sommelier. He had a water sommelier.
Yes.
Yeah.
In LA.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went, and their water is just super oxygenated and treated with UV light.
Yep.
That's it.
And and it's all free, and you can get sparkling water in places.
I know.
Like,
they have apps on their phone.
I know, man.
Just like, oh yeah, the water station's right over here. Let's fill up our water bottles.
I'm glad to hear someone talk about water quality, because sometimes I feel like Carly and I are the crazy people in our friend group, because we bought I think it was like $750 water filtration system for our entire house.
Yeah.
It's down in the basement. Like we can drink out of. I mean, you essentially can drink out of every faucet now.
That's awesome.
And it's we had a Kangen water thing. She has one in her office that we would do a lot.
Yeah.
That like alkalines the water to certain levels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important.
I took my oldest to Raleigh. I signed him up for this hockey thing. I lied about his age because he was supposed to be 5. He was almost 5. So it was close enough.
Yeah.
And the program is run near NHL teams.
Oh, cool.
And so the closest was either Raleigh or DC here from Virginia Beach. And it's like they gave him all the gear for $250. All I had to do was buy him like a cup.
Wow.
And then they gave him 6 free practices. And when we went to we didn't go to all the practices. Obviously, it's in Raleigh. It's far away. We went to 3 of the practices, stayed in a hotel. We stayed in this really nice hotel that was like a 10-minute walk from the Natural History Museum, 15-minute walk from the Children's Museum, and like a 10-minute drive to the rink. And at the rink, they have like NHL players from the Carolina Hurricanes that are out there like teaching your kid how to play hockey. Super cool. Anyways, at the hotel, we're on a trip, so like we didn't have a refrigerator.
Yeah.
Like normal at the house. And so we just fill up our water bottles in the sink. And my son is like, "You drink sink water?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just water. It's like it's regular water. It's just not filtered like you get out of the refrigerator."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it blew his mind. He was like, "You drink sink water?"
I know.
I'm like, "You're gonna drink sink water too."
I mean, that's funny. I mean, I used to drink out of hoses.
Yeah, the green
fields.
ones.
Yeah, and like, who knows what? It probably helped my gut a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You just had to make sure you turn the hose on for just a few seconds before you put your mouth on there to clear out all the spiders and stuff.
Have you ever been shocked?
Yes.
By that? Mm-hmm. It's really interesting how that works.
Shocked by the hose?
Yeah, shocked by the hose.
No.
Yeah.
No.
There's something to do with like, because electricity, I don't know, I'm a math teacher, not a science teacher, but it has to do with like the charging of ions maybe.
Okay.
To the 12 people that listen to this, there's probably one of them that'll be able to tell me the right way. But
I'll send you an email.
There's something that has to do with, I don't know, it's something with the water pressure. There's something, but I'd get a little shock.
Weird.
From it. And there's a few of my friends that have been like, yeah, we've gotten shocked by the water too.
Maybe I have. I just can't remember.
Yeah, man. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, man, I was a 6 Mountain Dew a day person up until my late 20s. And so to have something else besides that is necessary for my health and wellness and everything, right?
For sure.
I'll crush like 8 of these sparkling waters a day.
I would too.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't have the money for that.
I mean, I'm lucky, I guess. I just can't. You know, it's I need to feel the opening of the tab and the bubbles.
Yes.
And it helps me to not drink soda or alcohol during the week because I try not to drink during the week.
Yeah.
Because I've been hungover in my classroom once, and I don't ever want to do that again.
Kids are ruthless.
They are incredibly ruthless.
They have zero sympathy.
Nope. They don't care at all about how your night went, do they?
No.
But you were saying that's one of the reasons why you try to drink this more, right? Or not trying to drink as much alcohol?
One of the multiple reasons.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of reasons. We don't need to get into it, but, you know.
We'll probably get into it. Being hungover.
Yeah.
And like barely functional the next day.
Yeah.
After a good night out.
Uh-huh.
Or for me, a good night after the kids go to sleep.
Yeah.
And just like a couple beers and maybe some whiskey.
Uh-huh.
And a good show, like where you're just sitting there by yourself the only peaceful time of the day.
Yeah.
And you're like, in the morning, hungover.
It's hard.
Yeah, kids are like, dude, let's crush this day.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
sing me a song. Read me this story.
You.
Do this, do that. Let's go run.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Yeah, so I mean it's definitely it's helpful. You have to like we have to like when we say choose our battles wisely.
Yeah, for sure.
Know? Is those 3 beers worth it for the morning?
Sometimes not. Most of the time not.
Most of the time not, but sometimes yes. Anyway.
Yeah, sometimes yes.
Yeah. So so yeah, man. So you have 2 kids, right?
2 kids.
Yeah,
right
man.
now, they're 2 and 5.
Oh, jeez. And they're both boys, right?
Both boys.
Good. I said that in the intro. I recorded that before you got here.
Oh, nice.
So I'm glad I got that right.
Yeah. 2 and 5.
That's a lot of energy because we just have a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Whew. Yeah. What were their birth stories like?
Okay. I just got an update from my wife.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And the oldest was late. They don't let you go past 7 days a week from your due date.
Wow. Uh-huh.
And she was gonna get induced the next day, but she went into labor the night before at like 3 a.m. Drove to the hospital. In the military, we drove to the Naval Hospital.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And get there, she's in a lot of pain. She's probably about to go into late, like actually give birth around 7:30, 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And the charge nurse comes in and she's like, hey, we can't give you an epidural because we're in shift change right now.
Oh, that sucks.
And we're like, no, that's absurd. Like, you better get somebody in here. And
shift change.
yeah, that was obviously more important than our baby.
Yeah, that sucks.
Anyways, we got an epidural and things went well. And then the second baby, our youngest, our 2-year-old, we went like a month before our due date. We went up to DC, walking around, going to museums and stuff like that. And the walking center into preterm labor like a month early.
Oh, wow.
So then it was like, near house arrest for a month, where she couldn't like go places and do things. She could hang out at the house, and that was about it. And then and then water broke at the house. To the hospital she went by herself because we had our oldest that needed a babysitter in the middle of the night. It was probably like 9-10 p.m. or something like that. So she showers, goes to the hospital. Then I decide to shower. Get her oldest dressed and ready to go and packed to a friend's house. And then, the wife says that 2 hours later I show up at the hospital. I don't think it was that long, but yeah, that was basically it.
So she drove herself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, she's going to hold that over your head for a while.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Like,
man.
I mean, she's a wife.
Yeah.
So that's just like what they do. Right?
Uh-huh. Sure.
Yeah.
2 hours later, you showed up.
Yeah.
Man, so much for sightseeing. You get sightseeing and it puts her in a
Too much walking.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Walking around D.C. sends her into preterm labor.
Wow. My wife was 10 days past her due date.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did a home birth. We had midwives, so
Oh, okay.
there was a little bit different rules. We
Yeah.
were like a couple days. We had like 1 or 2 more days before we'd have to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, everything was like, there was nothing like crazy going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was like, she hated that they told her a date, you know, because that was like, when you go past it, you're just like, oh my gosh, when is it? You know, we were all just like, ready and wait, ready and wait, ready and wait. Okay, is this the day? I don't know. And you know, I'm a teacher, so it's like I'm off.
Right.
So every day was like, okay, what do we do? All right. Nope, not the day.
Yeah.
What do you want to do today? Let's go to the aquarium. Okay.
Yeah.
Just walk. Because I remember she wanted AC so bad. She wanted to be somewhere cold. So we just walked around the aquarium.
They're miserable.
They are miserable. I mean, it's
Towards
hard.
the end of their pregnancy, they're just
I mean, you have this thing living inside you.
Yeah.
Everything's shifting and changing. And,
You're hot and sweaty
I mean,
all day long.
I hate being uncomfortable
Yeah.
for long periods of time. And here I am, like, you know, here they are doing all, I mean, geez, no.
All day, every day.
All day, every day.
Yeah.
Trying to sleep. Jeez.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know how they handle it the way that they do.
Lots of expensive pillows that are like 6 feet long.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had one of those. I remember when she, because she's the chiropractor, and she bought made these special pillows that she just cut a hole in them, and they put it over the belly.
Yeah.
So that when they go like face down, you know, she
okay.
can adjust them.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. Anyway. But yeah, so, it's 2 kids, 2 and 5. That's craziness. I had 2 brothers, and we're 3 years apart. My brothers are twins.
Wow.
So I just think about, I mean, it's just going to get crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
Man, boys. Were you glad to have boys? I mean, was that what you...
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted a boy.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. They're awesome.
Yeah.
No offense to anybody that has just girls.
No, man.
But, yeah, it's great. Like, he's like your little bro.
Uh-huh.
Lori wants another one. She's like, well, what if we have a girl?
Uh-huh.
I really want a girl. And I'm
Yeah.
like, God forbid we have a girl. Like, our house is 1,200 square feet.
Yeah.
We would for sure need another car.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least a bigger car. And then if we had a girl, she would have to have all of her own things. But if we had another boy, they already have all their own.
Yeah.
Their brother's stuff.
Man. So did you want to have multiple kids, or was it like...
I wanted 3 initially.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I have 2, I'm like, kind of done.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is great. Because where I'm at right now financially, like, if either of my kids said that they wanted to go do something,
Mm-hmm.
I can provide that.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever have to tell my kid that, like, we can't do this thing that you want to do because I don't make enough money for that. You know what I mean?
Sense. I get that.
I just want to be able to give them everything that they want. I'm scared that if we had another kid, that wouldn't happen.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
I think that kind of feeling and thought is probably what every parent has.
Yeah.
I think about that with mine. I only have one. You know, I want him to have everything or do everything he wants.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like having the one.
Yeah.
It's chill.
It is.
Yeah, it was one of those things that I was like, I had to be like, did I want kids or not? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have like the feeling that you wanted to have kids?
Always.
Really?
Yeah. We're gonna get into it, but growing up, my dad was like, he worked construction, and he was a heavy drinker.
Mm-hmm.
So he would leave. He'd leave before the sun came up, and he would come home after the sun went down. Almost all year. He wasn't around very often, and so I was always just like, I'm gonna have kids and be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like you've shown me all the ways to not do things.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm gonna just take what I've learned from growing up and try and be a great dad.
Wow. So do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I got a younger brother and a younger sister.
Yeah.
My younger brother is like 4 years younger than me, and my younger sister is 9 years younger than me.
So there's your motivation right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I usually ask, like, what was your father? I mean, you answered a lot of it. I mean, I guess you're kind of doing the opposite of what he did.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It is. Mm-hmm. Because having kids is terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like they're constantly trying to kill themselves. Every day, it's like, hey, you probably shouldn't jump off of that.
Yeah.
But also, you have to let them jump off of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if you like stifle, is that the word? Stifle their like sense of adventure, then are they just gonna not have an adventurous side to them?
Yeah.
After a while,
I think with boys, it's necessary for them to have adventure.
Yeah.
There's something ingrained in all of us. Yeah. I usually refer to it as there's like this wild that we're searching for.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it has to be played out in some level in us, or else we kind of like, we get a little weird, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it comes back to like ancestrally, with like our roles, you know? And sure. I think that kind of stuff is passed down, and it's not like, it's like we're always trying to be hunting and like fighting off something, because that's what our ancestors did. Yeah. And so that was passed down. It's just different for us now because we don't necessarily need to do that all the time. But we all have to, I think all boys need to find their wild. Right. You know, and for me, that was like concerts and, you know, being outside, you know, and just doing adventurous things that aren't normal. Yeah. Other people, it's like, you know, sports. Other people, it's, you know, I don't know, those parkour kids that want to jump off stuff and do flips. Right. You know?
And that stuff is like scary.
It is.
My wife loves going to Disneyland. Uh-huh. And when we lived in California, we basically lived in Disneyland. When we lived in California before kids, we had season passes to Disneyland. Wow. And we would go on a whim for just like a few hours. Just because we could. Yeah. And she loves it. And I would go because she loved it. But for me, I would rather go like climb a mountain. You know? Yeah. And now she's trying to continuously push Disneyland and go to these parks and do these things. And I'm like, that's great, but it's fake. Mm-hmm. It's like fake artificial fun. And then we took our oldest to the adventure park here, and some of the stuff it's high. Yeah. They're up high in the trees, climbing through those obstacles. And at a certain point, my oldest was like, I am terrified right now. And I'm like, because this is a real adventure. Like you're on an adventure and you're going to remember this forever because there's risk involved and because you're scared. But it's extremely safe. Mm-hmm. But afterwards, he had a blast because, you know, there was that adrenaline rush and like sense of there was that fear of like of falling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he had a great time.
Yeah, because it's safe enough, and things can go wrong.
Right.
So you know that.
Yes.
And it's like, it's like when you bungee jump, you know? You feel fine. It'll be okay. Sure. Right on.
For the most part.
And sure, it's safe enough.
Yeah.
But there's that element of it.
Yes.
You know, I think that's why the Jackass guys live. I've been thinking about this a lot because I saw Jackass 4, a while ago. And, they're all old and stuff. And it's like, I think when you push yourself to that point, it's almost like you're safer. Like you're like, and that it feels like saying that is like the opposite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it's like your body, something kicks in. You know what I mean? They do stupid shit, and of course they're going to fall, they're going to hurt themselves, but most of the time they're fine.
Right.
Which is the craziest part.
Right.
But you're pushing yourself to that just past where some normal person would go.
Right.
And that's where, like, I don't know, it's like something kicks in. Like these BMXers, or I was watching this one, I think this guy's named Cam Zink. I follow him on Instagram. He's a mountain biker, but like really intense. They do this. He's always on these like Instagram like videos of like jumping off these mountains and doing the mountain biking and like these doing flips and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's crazy to watch. And you wonder, how do they survive? But it seems like the focus kicks in right when they're past that point where a normal person would go.
Right. They skirt that edge.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's a lot of skill and practice that goes into that. Mm-hmm. I always go back to like mountaineering and alpinism and stuff like that. And obviously there's some aspects of mountaineering that you can't control. The weather, the mountain, snow, an avalanche, a rock slide or something like that.
Yeah.
But there's so many other things that you can control to make it really safe.
Like Alex Honnold, the free solo guy.
Yes.
I mean, I watched him do that, and you're just like...
It's nuts.
It's nuts. Everyone else is panicking, and he's just like, all right, I'm just going to go do it. All right, I'm ready to do it.
But he didn't just go do it. He did that.
No, I know.
He did that route roped up like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Without a rope.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. Like you watch, like I watched the documentary.
Yes.
And you see how like precise he was with every movement, how many times he was up there, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, for every one of him, there's 5 that didn't make it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Oh, man. My hands are sweating thinking about that and talking about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, I don't know, you skydived, right?
Yeah.
Because you're in the military and that was something that you trained. So, I mean, that's got to be...
the first time ever going skydiving, there's a huge difference between taking off on a commercial airliner and taking off in this tiny little plane where at 1,000 feet they open the door and you're just exposed to the outside world, and the anticipation of the flight is probably the worst part. Mm-hmm. And standing in the door where it's like, all right, 3, 2, 1, jump. But yeah, the anticipation of the flight it's terrifying for the first time, because you know that at the top you're going to just jump out and trust that this parachute's going to open and bring you down safely. But then after a couple hundred jumps, you just get in the plane and you fly around and you huck yourself out of the aircraft like it's any other day.
You said a couple hundred, so you've jumped out a couple hundred times?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right on.
It's after a while it just doesn't get that, it's not scary anymore.
I mean, I assume that, it's like the same guy that's like, if he's a neurosurgeon, the first time he cuts open a skull to do on the brain, he's probably terrified.
Yeah.
And then on some level, it becomes another day.
Right.
know?
Right, for sure.
Man. Yeah, that's one thing I want to do. I want to jump out of a plane.
Go.
Yeah, I know that like you have to do it tandem first.
You don't have to. You don't have to. The
Really?
first time that I jumped out, I was in the military, but I went as a civilian, and I paid, I don't know however much money it was, but you just have to sit in this class. You have to sit in class for 6 to 8 hours or whatever.
Okay.
So it ended up for me being like 2 days. I sat in class for 6 to 8 hours, got all the instruction, and then you jump out with 2 instructors.
Okay.
You exit the airplane. They're kind of holding on to you, and then you'll level out, reach terminal velocity, and they'll break off, let you go, and try and let you fly a little bit by yourself. Obviously, you don't have that much time. It's from exit to when you have to pull is about 50 seconds.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's not that long.
Because you'll go to, what is it, iFly?
Yeah, I fly.
And you're there for like, you're doing it for like 35 seconds, and it costs so much money.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
if that's reality, then okay, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
Man, 50 seconds. It always looks so much longer. Like you think of the Point Break, at that last scene in Point Break.
Yes.
It's like 4 minutes long.
Yes.
God. But anyway, that's the movies.
For sure. Yeah.
So maybe I should look into that.
Go to Suffolk.
Yeah. I know my wife will probably listen to this and be like, oh my God, stop it. Nope. But yeah, no, I think there's something about like having someone strapped to me. It feels too safe. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just crazy.
No.
It just feels too safe. Like I want to put myself in the place where I have to let go. Like I have to do the jumping. Not like tapping someone's shoulder and I'm basically getting pushed out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but anyway, I think boys and kids need to know risks on some level. They need to test themselves and see what this world is about, learn their boundaries from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They know that if they step on something that's sharp, it's going to hurt. They need to know that. My son stepped on something in a yard, and there were some splinters in his foot, and it was like traumatizing for him. But now he knows, like, you have to be careful.
Yeah. And then afterwards, they're like, maybe I should put shoes on.
Mm-hmm. That's the hard part. But see, he sees me walk around barefoot all the time.
Right.
Which is like, maybe I should wear shoes more. I don't know.
No. Well,
it's weird. I live at the beach, so it's like,
yeah. Yeah.
When you're wearing shoes at the beach, it's hard because, that sucks.
They're constantly wanting to make decisions for themselves.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
And if you're like, hey, man, you should put shoes on. And they say, no, I'm not putting shoes on.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay. Well, now you know the consequences.
Yeah, now when you're like running on the asphalt in July at 2:00, it's going to suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I struggle with that, the making decisions. I've been thinking about that because my kid loves, they love like the candy and the sweets. And, he has this one bar that he loves. And sometimes I want to just always give it to him.
Yes.
When he asks in a day to let him feel the stomach ache. But then I think, I don't know, like, I don't know if they could understand that or they would get that.
Right. Then there's, what if he doesn't get a stomach ache?
Yeah. I know.
What if he doesn't? What if his little baby metabolism just crushes it? And then there's that standard where he's like, I had 6 of these yesterday.
I can have 6 of them.
I can have 6 again today.
Yeah, he loves, they're called Go Macro bars. And my wife and I eat them a lot. They're the only bar that I've gotten that has like sustained me.
Yeah.
You know? And then he calls them mommy daddy bars. But he'll eat, that's a lot of protein for a 3-year-old. But
yeah.
It's funny. I don't know, because he'll ask, he wakes up from a nap, I want a mommy daddy bar. He wakes up in the morning, I want a mommy daddy bar. I pick him up from class, he's like, I want a mommy daddy bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's like constantly.
Yes.
We've created this monster.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not like it's super sugary, but it's just a lot. And
right.
Plus, I want him to like eat other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know.
Anything that doesn't involve ketchup. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It doesn't involve. He just learned about ketchup in the last few months.
Yeah.
He loves ketchup.
I mean, they all love ketchup for some reason.
And then once you have a chicken nugget, it's all over.
I had chicken nuggets before I came here.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some dope chicken nuggets. We do Butcher Box.
Oh, nice.
And so we ordered chicken nuggets from them, and they are great.
I bet they are.
Yeah. We've been on the Butcher Box train for 2.5 years now.
Really?
Yeah. It's great.
It's a good deal too, right?
Yeah, it's not like you're not going to save a ton of money, but the quality's there. And so
yeah,
you know where it's coming from. And so like for us, we did this at this one time where we get wings and bacon for life. So every box we get a pack of wings and a pack of bacon.
Man, that's awesome.
So that's fun until like you can't. I think we have 4 packets of wings, which equals to like, let's see, there's anywhere from like 20 to 30 in one pack.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So.
For the month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have all of these. We just haven't. We keep having a night. We'll like eat a bunch, or we'll have friends over and make them.
Yeah.
But then we just keep accumulating.
They send you on every month.
Yep. So.
Yeah. We've looked into like purchasing like half a cow.
Dude, I would do that in a second.
We just don't have the freezer space.
Yeah, you need to get one of those, like, I call it a granny freezer.
Yeah, the horizontal one.
Yep, because my granny in Tennessee,
yeah,
they had a freezer. It was always filled with meat because my mom grew up on a farm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I would purchase a cow with other people.
Yeah,
just carve it up.
Couple people.
Yep.
Each person gets a quarter.
Yeah. And that's a lot of meat. Like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but an
800-pound cow.
That's a lot of meat, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You could get it from the Polyface farm. Those are pretty good.
Where's that at?
That's out here in Virginia.
Really?
It's all. That guy is crazy. You should look him up for Polyface Farm. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast a couple years ago, and he talks about it. It's good. Very good quality. He does chickens and a lot of other stuff, and meat, pigs, cows. But they live a really good life, and everything's in the open, and it's like a lot of like, what's that hot button word with farming nowadays? Where like everything is kind of intermingling. Kind of.
I don't know.
Like the chickens will run around.
I was gonna say free range.
Well, their chicken coops are like these. Oh, it's crazy. It's like all open. It's like a pavilion almost.
Yeah.
God, that word's gonna come to me later, and
okay.
I'm gonna know what it is. But it's like this. Oh, man. God, it's the second time that's happened already. Turning 41's not fun.
There's a word for that. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but he does really good quality. It's all God, I wish that word. But anyway, yeah, we've looked into trying to like get meat from them. I mean, they're just so sought after. It's hard.
Yeah.
But if there was any place that could do it, they would.
That'd be awesome.
I know. I need a freezer. I want to get the what's the deer that's in Hawaii?
Axis deer?
Axis deer. I want to try that.
Yeah.
There's a place that I looked into that you can get it shipped to you.
Go to Hawaii and get a deer tag.
I could. I mean, you know.
Just shoot it yourself.
It's easy, right? I'll just go to Hawaii and shoot. I've only shot a gun twice in my life.
So not so easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Guns were not a part of my life.
You could though. You could probably do it.
Yeah. I like you. I like that you think that.
You just gotta get like a guide. Get yourself a guide.
Yeah, axis deer and elk. That's what I want to try.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Elk hunt would be fun.
My favorite. So when I went to Montana 3 years ago, and we drove through Yellowstone to get there. And my favorite part was everybody stopped, and there was this elk just sitting there, and I just remember being like awed by its size.
Mm.
Like, that's a huge animal.
Yeah.
But my favorite part was because there's all these people taking pictures, and then the elk just stopped, and he just scratched his nuts with his horn. And then just walked away, and I was like, that was great.
Yeah.
Because that was like, I don't know, going to Yellowstone was hard to like... I felt like I saw the worst in people in Yellowstone.
Yes.
Like, it was... I remember we drove through, and we had been, we drove through like... we drove from Denver to Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
I love Jackson Hole.
Yeah. We stopped midway at this cabin on this mountain in Wyoming. Had a dry sink, like super rustic, beautiful. All of us, and just driving to Jackson Hole was just beautiful. And then driving from Jackson Hole through the Tetons, it's like, yes, and peaceful and quiet. You're seeing all of us. And then all of a sudden we got to the Old Faithful.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh man, just like the gift shops and like the people and like the trash and the smells and just the attitudes.
Yeah, the trash drives me nuts.
It like killed my buzz.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. People treat it like it's an amusement park.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Back to the whole, artificial fun meeting real fun. Mm-hmm. And you try and like merge the two, and people don't really know, like, what do I do with my hands that are filled with this trash? Like, oh, somebody will pick it up.
I know.
Same with like cigarette butts. Mm-hmm. Where they like, why is it okay to throw a cigarette butt out of your window, like into the street, when you have an ashtray in your car?
I think about it at the beach all the time. Like, every entrance has 2 to 4 trash cans, and you can't throw your stuff away, right?
Right.
Like, I remember one time out here, I was smoothing out the sand to put down my towel, and I noticed there was a beer can buried, so I picked it up, and then I smoothed some more, and there was another one, and another one. I ended up getting 12. Someone had buried their 12-pack.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, geez, guys.
Yeah.
But then the worst part, too, is like with that elk, I was watching how close people were trying to get to it, to take that shot. They wanted to get that picture.
Yeah, your iPhone only has so much zoom.
And I'm like, you guys understand that thing could kill you.
Yeah, for sure.
Like in a second. Like a moose.
Yes.
Like a moose would kill you.
Yeah.
Those things are huge and terrifying. A buffalo, a bear. Like, people are like, we have no sense.
No.
Of stuff like that.
No.
So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, kids should know boundaries. You know, they should know that, like, there's risk in wild, but you have to understand that, like, we tell, like, we go to our family has a little cabin, and we try to tell them, like, look with your eyes, step back, You don't want to get close to it. This is their house, their land. You know, when someone gets up close to you, how does that make you feel? So, you know, stay back. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, that's good. But yeah, Jackson Hole's great. I had so much fun there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That was the first place when I really got that what people have been writing about America for hundreds of years. Like the beauty and the majesty of it.
Yeah.
Because we were going up this one ski lift, and it was in the summertime. That's my favorite thing. Like, that's something I found that I love more than a lot of stuff, is just sitting on a ski lift in the summertime.
What were you doing on a ski lift in the summer?
Well, we have a friend who lives in Big Sky.
Okay.
And so, like, she's there full time. She's a chiropractor out there.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you can, like, ride a ski lift and just go up the mountain.
Yeah.
And then come back down.
Nice.
But we were in the Jackson Hole. It was this one. And so, I mean, I kind of saw the mountains or whatever. But, you know, you're going up it and you're like, I was facing away. Like, the Tetons are behind me.
Yeah.
And so then you get up and then you turn.
Yeah.
And, like, you were up, you know, super high. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Mm-hmm. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I don't think my wife or I spoke for, like, 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We were just staring at, like, this. And I was like, okay, I get it.
Yep.
I get it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, when we were in Big Sky, like, you get on the ski lift. Because a lot of times the people go there for mountain biking. So they'll do all the runs on their mountain bikes. But yeah, you just pay, I think it was like $15-$20 or whatever it is to just get on. Yeah, I grabbed a couple of tall boys.
Yeah.
And I'm just like sitting, chilling.
For sure.
And I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
I love it. I want to do it every day.
Yeah. Yeah. We last time I was in Jackson Hole, we went backcountry skiing.
Uh-huh.
Which is essentially you just put skis on and then you put like this one-way carpet on the bottom of your skis. So all the fibers, the hairs of like the carpet, essentially, lay down on one way. So you can slide your ski up the hill, but you can't slide the ski back down the hill, like backwards.
Uh-huh.
And you just walk up the mountain like that through the snow.
Wow.
And yeah, we did that in the Tetons. It was awesome.
Man. Yeah, I think about going back a lot. To seeing that and just driving through that and hanging out. Just to...
Yeah.
You get why... I think I got why everyone wants to go there and why people don't want any of those people there.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it was like this... There was this sense of like, who are you? Why are you here? Like, there was definitely like... A lot of people were arm's length.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, because it's like, that's just another person hanging out.
Yep.
That's another person.
Yeah.
And like, you think about the people who own all these land around these rivers that they own it, and people can't fish there or like enjoy the river because it's like private property now, and it's this guy who's there like 3 times a year.
Yeah. Well, to own, it's so expensive. To own a place in Jackson Hole, it's like equivalent to owning a place in Manhattan.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's insane.
Yeah. I mean, that changes it. Like, I watched that show Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And they talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
That show's great. Do you watch that?
No.
Oh, man.
The only time I get to watch television is after the kids go to sleep.
And you have to really choose. That's a whole... Oh, man, that's a thing.
Yes.
I
just started Moon Knight.
Oh, yeah. I've watched a couple episodes of those. I haven't gotten to that. I've been trying to do Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah.
But it's true. You have to really pick and choose. And you don't want to binge watch it.
Right.
Because then you're up late, and the kids, like we're saying, they don't care how your night was.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. For some reason, it seems like those nights where you stay up late, you're like, man, I really hope I get to sleep in.
Nope.
It's like 4:45 in the morning, and they're like walking in the bedroom, and they're like, hi. Hey. Good morning. Like, what are you doing? Go back to sleep.
We tell him the sun's not up yet, so go back to bed.
Yeah.
And sometimes that works.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Like 70 to 80%. Yeah, nobody talked to me about that, about the picking and choosing. You know, I'm not a huge, I mean, I like TV, I like some shows, but, you know, you really have to like, I mean, there's like 1,000 shows you want to watch.
Yeah.
You know? And then is it worth it to, you know, watch this? I don't know. We get real selective too.
But instead we just watch Bluey.
Oh my God. We've seen so many episodes of Bluey.
It's a great show.
It is a great show. I love it. The third season's done. We're supposed to get it later this year. I'm kind of ready for it because, I mean, I've seen every episode 4 times, 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Man. My favorite episode of Bluey is The Creek.
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
Where, like, Bluey, like, they just go tromping through the woods, and then Bluey sees the beauty of it.
Yeah. Well, initially, she's scared.
Yep.
Because it's unfamiliar to her, and she's, like, you know, scared of, like, the leeches and all the other things, and then she sees that, what is it, a kangaroo?
Yeah, she sees the kangaroo, and they like, stare at each other.
Yeah.
And there's that moment. Oh, man.
Yeah.
God.
Have you seen the one, the nap time one? Or the bedtime one?
Where she's dreaming?
Yes.
Goes dreaming? Yeah.
Yes.
And her mother's the sun?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that one.
God, that one. My wife was bawling after that one. I've cried. I mean, I'll be honest. I've cried after a couple of those episodes. I mean, there's some stuff. There's really poignant things that they say.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I love the dad. Sometimes I get stressed out with how they treat the dad. Sometimes. You know, he's just kind of like he takes a lot of stuff from them.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's great because they're 8 minutes long, you know?
Yeah.
And you can watch 2 or 3, and then it gets them satisfied.
Yeah.
And so then we can turn off because we're trying to, like, limit the TV for, you know. But then he'll want it, you know, he likes Trash Truck, and that's a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You guys watch Trash Truck? Mm-mm. Oh, man, that's a good one. It's got this little boy, and his best friend is a garbage truck, and then he has a bear, a raccoon, and a mouse. And they're always just hanging out. It's pretty cool, too.
Yeah.
Super chill. Not so much like just inundated with, you know, like, what is it, Coco Melon?
Yes.
We don't let him. We try not to. Yeah, I don't think we show him that.
Yeah.
There's a lot that we don't show him. We haven't gotten to show him Paw Patrol yet. Right. Which is good.
Yeah.
Because
it's good to, I think it's good to limit it.
Mm-hmm.
We really try and limit devices, phones and tablets, because then television is mobile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then it becomes a crutch.
Yeah, you can watch it whenever you want.
And it just sucks them in and they're quiet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Man. Instead of having like a meaningful conversation.
Yeah, or reading a book.
Yeah. Yeah, or driving I think is like the one time where like, here, just watch this thing on my phone, or at a restaurant or something like that, where you could just be asking them questions about their day or playing like little games.
Yeah, we've gotten pretty good about that with the stuff that we bring.
Yeah.
The things like the games in the car.
Yeah. Now long flights or long car rides, they're going on a road trip, like tablet all day.
Yeah, we've got this thing called a Yoda or something. But it's like this little radio, and you have little cards, and you can tell stories.
Oh, I think we have the same thing. We just have it's like this little blue box with ears for for the volume, and then they come with like a Crap Brother action figure.
No, this is
And
different.
you stick it on top, and it tells a story.
I know what you're talking about. This is totally different.
Oh, okay.
But hold on, I'm getting lights on. I need to check something out. We will be right back. And we're back. For you guys, it was a second. For us, it was a few minutes.
Yeah.
It's one of those things with I had the monitor. The wife had to get it, and and then bathroom breaks. It's cool. But yeah, Yoto, Yoto.
Okay.
It's a little box.
Yeah.
And he has really enjoyed that.
Nice.
Like there's some stories, there's songs, there's stuff like that. And yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. I'll have to find, I'll send you the link to the one that Lori got the boys.
Cool.
But it's just like little action figures you put on top.
Oh, he might really like that.
You just got to make sure you don't lose these little action figures.
Oh my gosh, another thing to lose.
They're not very big.
Yeah. Anyway. So, we talked, let's talk some more about fatherhood.
Yeah.
So we'll go into the big one, like you asked. So what terrifies you? Or what's the scariest thing about being a dad or birth story or anything like that?
Terrifying is like so many things can just go wrong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're like beyond your control. So we got our oldest, who's 5, and then we got pregnant a second time. We would have the two boys would have been 2 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
We went in for our first initial ultrasound.
Yeah.
And the ultrasound tech, who was like not a doctor, so she can't read the ultrasound and give you like an official like readout, was like, yeah, I see something on his head, and I don't know what it is, but I recommend that you go to the big hospital, because we were just at a clinic. Mm-hmm. Go to the hospital and get like another ultrasound. So we did that, and so now we're at like 9 weeks in or whatever, and the readout basically comes back. It was like, yep, she's 8 weeks pregnant and with a viable fetus. And we were like, okay, great. That's good.
Yeah.
And then I went on deployment. While I was on deployment, good and bad, I tore my quad and had to come home.
Oh, jeez.
To go to physical therapy.
Uh-huh.
And I had like just gotten home, and it was right at like, I had been home for 24 hours maybe. And that was right around the 20-week mark.
Uh-huh.
And Lori was at home in California at her mom's house. So she got the 20-week ultrasound done in California.
Gotcha.
And they were like, we need to, call your husband. And so we all get on the phone together. We were on FaceTime, and they were like, your baby has a thing called anencephaly, which is like an incomplete closure of the spinal column. So the spinal column is like exposed to amniotic fluid while in the womb, and it's 100% fatal. If the baby was to come out alive at 9 months, it maybe had like a few days to live at that point. Yeah. And then they're like, we did this blood work, and I don't remember the lab values, but they were like, these two lab values are super high, and this lab value is super low, which essentially means he's in there like dying right now. And this is at 20 weeks, so were like, I flew from Virginia Beach to California like that night, and I was able to make the next appointment, and we had to get a DNC to like, basically an abortion.
Yeah.
But it's more of a medical procedure, I guess.
What's a DNC?
I don't know what the acronym stands for. Basically, they had to go in and like dilate the cervix so they could get the baby out. So it was delayed something. But yeah. So we lost our second baby. And it was like terrifying. It was like so emotionally straining because we found out at 20 weeks and we couldn't get the procedure done until 21 weeks, like a whole week later. So my wife is like walking around looking pregnant, being pregnant,
knowing that
hormones are all crazy, knowing that like,
oh my God,
we can't, this isn't going to happen. We're going to lose the baby. And because it was at 21 weeks, we had to like, get him cremated. And he's in like this little tiny urn, like on our mantle.
Oh wow!
And like we had to like pay for death certificates. And
did you have to give the baby a name?
Yeah, we named him Cooper Daniel.
Oh wow!
Yeah, which is crazy, cause like the whole being like parenthood and like bringing a life into this world, like nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah,
it's terrifying. They're always, and the kids are always trying to kill themselves.
They are. Wow. How long was it until y'all wanted to have another one?
Well,
because I've wondered that, because I know that like my mom had a miscarriage before me. So I would have had an older brother.
Yeah, my mom had a like a tubal pregnancy.
Oh, really?
After me. What the fuck's that called? Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, you can. I've cussed numerous times already in this podcast episode already.
It'll come to me. I'll remember it. Just like that thing that you can't remember.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that happened to my mom. And it like ruptured in her fallopian tube. So she lost like one whole fallopian tube after that.
Oh, jeez.
And then had 2 more kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the only word that comes to my head is what a mind fuck of an experience. And what a like, let's just take your heart and just squeeze it, right? And like rip it out of you.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're like, I mean, it's kind of like you tearing your quad was a blessing.
Yeah, otherwise I would have been
dealing with that.
I would have been way further away than
jeez.
Virginia to California.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's terrifying.
So, yeah, but yeah, how long did y'all wait? Or was it like hard to like get the idea of having another kid or?
Yeah. Emotionally, for Lori, like it was tough. And then physically as well, it's like, the risk for the procedure that had to be done, getting pregnant after that could have caused other complications.
Yeah.
If we had done it sooner. You know what I mean? So like she could have gotten sick, or she could have gotten like a uterine rupture or something like that.
Yeah.
Which were some of the complications from just having that surgery. So moving forward, yeah, we had to wait. We had to wait a long time.
They deal with so much more than we do when it comes to pregnancy. I mean, like, it's bananas how much.
It's fun for us.
Yeah. I tell some people, we're just spectators. You know?
Yeah.
We provide the material.
Right.
and then watch it get built.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm like, what do you mean you can't have lunch meat? You know?
Yeah. But I realize that too with like pregnancy and birth is like you walk this razor thin line between order and chaos. And the wind can blow a certain direction, and before you know it, everything is fucked that you planned and you tried. I mean, we did so much. I mean, we did a home birth, so there's so much that we had to do for that and what she did. I mean, my wife did so much work to do it, to make it happen. I mean, I'm always in awe of that, you know?
Yeah.
But we've had friends that have tried. They did the same thing that she did. And you hear of people and they can't. Something happens.
Right.
And they have to go to the hospital. Or they have to they have to do this. Or, you know, they lose. You know, you hear all the time the people that did everything they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then they lose the baby or something happens. And so it is a terrifying thing. There's pregnancy, fatherhood, all of it.
Yep. Yeah.
It's tough. So then let's sidetrack. What's been the funniest thing?
The kids are hilarious on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Just the stuff that they say.
Yeah.
This, like, being exposed to new things.
Uh-huh.
But back to, like, our trip to Raleigh.
Yeah.
You turn the television on in a hotel room, and they're like, "Hey, can you put this show on for me?" Like, that's not how cable works. You know, like I can't just turn a specific show on. We have to wait until that show airs.
Isn't
we
that
have
funny?
to be there in the room at the same time.
God, they don't get it.
No.
They don't. They're not going to get it.
No, they won't.
We're the last generations that are going to understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, then what about what's been the funnest thing? I should ask what's the funnest thing. Instead of the funniest.
Watching them grow
Yeah.
and like teaching them,
Yeah.
being able to like see how they interact with other kids, other people.
Uh-huh.
You know, they make me proud every day. It's like,
Yeah.
when they look at a grown adult in the eye,
Uh-huh.
and they're like, "Hello," like, "Good morning." You're like, "Yeah, nice work, buddy."
Yeah.
Like,
it feels good.
yeah. A lot of kids look at other adults and they're like, "I don't know, I can't make eye contact with you," or,
Oh man. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I can talk to you
Uh-huh.
as another person." You know, it's like weird. It's weird for kids, but yeah, I don't know. Every day they're hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
They're always saying something funny or doing something weird.
Yeah, my little boy will sit out on our deck, and since we're on the beach path, people are just constantly walking by.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, "Hi,
Yeah.
hi," and they're like, "How are you?" He goes, "Good. How are you?" And then our neighbor, who next door, he's Greek, and
Yeah.
he's just always he'll go, "Hi, Tassos," and they'll just have these conversations and stuff, and like he'll tell kids like, "I'm going to school" or "I'm going to camp."
Nice.
And they're just like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
all right, fine, have fun.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how people are so put off by strangers and like kids saying hi to them. Most people are like, they think it's cute and adorable, and they'll say, hi, how's it going?
Right.
Or he'll be like, you at the beach? Huh? Cool. You know?
Cool.
He cusses a lot more than I wish he did.
Really?
It's hard. Yeah, it's our fault.
Obviously.
My wife,
It's not his fault.
My wife, we've been noticing that like he when something breaks or falls, he'll say "damn it." Mm-hmm. So that's something.
My oldest wants to play football because he wants girls to cheer for him.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh man. Football's the only thing that makes me nervous. Of all the things that he could do in his life.
Yeah.
It's weird that football's the thing that makes me nervous.
Well, when it melts your brain, you know, degrades your brain. Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to someone about that. That's something that scares me, are the injuries like that you see that kids and people have, you know, those kind of things. But I was talking with someone about the difference between like rugby and football and how rugby doesn't scare me like football does.
Well, in rugby, they're not covered in pads.
Yeah.
So like they're not going to make head-to-head contact.
Yeah.
In rugby. Mm-hmm. Whereas in football, that happens more often.
It's like there's more abandonment, not reckless, maybe reckless abandonment. But they're not going to feel it as much, so they're going to like charge harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like that's, I mean, I watch this and I mean, when I see like these like, oh man, little league football and these kids doing it, you're just like, jeez.
Yeah. I grew up playing soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And I played football in middle school and a little bit in high school. And I did wrestling. Now I have a hard time, like, and this is probably partially my military career, but
yeah,
I have a hard time like putting thoughts together and like streaming thoughts like from one to another and remembering things. Like I have a planner. I've had a planner for years now, and if I don't write it down, like I will forget.
Oh yeah.
And it might be because of soccer growing up. Like,
really? Did you get hit in the head?
Well, just headbutting the ball.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You do that a few times a game and a few times a practice. I don't know what that did to my head, my brain. And then playing football, same thing.
I mean, yeah. It's such a sport here. You know, it's the number one maybe sport here
in Virginia.
Football. No, I think in America.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean,
isn't baseball America's sport?
It is. Baseball. I think football is too. Well, football was taken from like rugby and soccer.
Yeah.
Basketball is ours, but it was made. Was it Samuel Naismith? He's Canadian, so that's something.
Hockey's Canada's sport.
Yep, hockey. But yeah, I think about that. I think about the injuries, and I think about like, what sport is he going to want to do?
Yeah,
you know, and stuff like that. And
yeah,
you don't want to like overthink it, and then bring that, you know, like the law of attraction kind of thing, or like make it the devil, and then that's all they're going to want to do.
Right.
You know, maybe
you can't drive them towards a specific sport either.
Yeah. It's hard. Yeah.
I've tried.
Well, like I grew up in music, so sports was never my thing.
Yeah.
You know, I was in the band and my dad was a musician and like choral stuff and all of that. So like sports were so foreign to me.
Yeah.
Anyway. But I mean, we'll see, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like who knows what they're going to want to do? what the world is going to be like in 10 years when our kids are in their teens, you know?
I try to not think about that too much.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays. That kind of stuff keeps you up at night.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But, so you're in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Because you talked about, you're talking about deployments and stuff like that. How's that been as like a parent?
Before kids, taking risks was much easier. Now, like, after kids, you definitely have more to live for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then being away, traveling and stuff like that, that's hard because they don't know why you have to leave. It's hard for them to understand, like, I got to go away for a couple weeks to go on a work trip, you know?
Yeah. So are you gone a lot? Like, I know a couple friends that are like, at least they're gone like once a month for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm about the same.
Yeah.
This month I'll have traveled for 11. I'll have been gone 11 days.
Oh, okay.
Month. So it's not terrible.
No.
But
do you have like long stretches, like months at a time anymore?
Not anymore. But when I was deploying a few years back, there was like a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Which sucks too, cuz when they're young, like within a year, you leave for a deployment and come back and they're a completely different person.
Oh man.
They're all of a sudden like, you leave and they're crawling, and then you get back and they're walking and talking, and you're like, holy shit, like, I missed so much.
Yeah.
But it's easier when they're super young because they don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now it's harder now that they're older because they're like, the oldest one is like, Daddy is leaving. And telling the younger one, and the younger one's like, what?
Oh man.
I don't know. What do you mean Daddy's leaving? I'm like, and kids don't have any concept of time.
Nope.
They say shit like yesteryear.
How do you think it shaped you as a father, or changed, like, I don't know, like, because how long have you been in the military?
16 years now.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
I couldn't say. I have no idea.
It's just who you are.
I barely remember me. Before the military, I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 20, 21 years old.
So you were like, 21. So you like did high school, and then did you do college at all? Or?
I did a little bit of college, yeah. I went to the fire academy.
Oh, wow.
I was trying to be a firefighter paramedic.
Uh-huh.
And then, so I was trying to do that. I went to EMT at my local community college, and then I was waiting for the next year to come around. So I started searching for a job for the summer.
Uh-huh.
And then realized I could, practice medicine in the Navy. So I was like, I'm just going to do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you've always wanted to practice medicine or stuff like that?
Yeah, for the most part, be a medic. And that's what I do now.
Do you think that when you get out, will you be like a doctor or something, or you?
No.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. People. We have like a lot of guys that transition into being like a PA.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care about people's feelings enough for me to to be a PA. I don't think it'd be hard for me. My bedside manner would be awful.
Yeah. You don't care.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Sorry, I'm just thinking.
Ectopic pregnancy. That's what it's called.
Okay.
But yeah, like, I don't care enough about people anymore. But I'm probably gonna go into like strength and conditioning, and maybe PT.
Oh, okay.
I would be a physical therapist if I was to stay in medicine. It's probably what I would do.
Yeah. Cool. I've had 2 knee surgeries, so
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of physical therapists in my life.
And like that for me, like sports medicine, getting somebody back into a sport or back to full function or walking or something like that, opposed to like, I'm a drug dealer or a drug addict, and now I have this huge cyst on my arm from injecting drugs. Like, I have zero sympathy for you.
Yeah,
Like,
I get that. Yeah, it's a wild thing to like. Cause I remember because I had a knee surgery 2 years ago, and I fell down some stairs and landed, tore it. Oof, it sucked.
Yeah.
The first one I did in 2003, I was playing ultimate frisbee and I got hit by a girl, and when I landed, my foot landed in like a divot in the field.
Yep.
So knee went 2 different directions.
That'll do it.
Yep. But I just remember like going and like, cause you can't walk, you it's so funny how quickly your muscles atrophy, and like you having to build that up, and like these little things you have to do every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember being in pain and being so frustrated with these physical therapists and stuff, but then they're like, all right, now take your steps. And then I'm taking steps without a crutch, and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just so wild how that can happen, and how because of them doing that and how they took care of me then, I haven't had any issues really. And I even ran a half marathon this year.
Nice.
And that would have been like, I don't know. I never thought I'd do that,
Yeah.
You think about that, but I don't know. They did such a great job, so I love it. I love that part of it. Letting your body heal, do the work, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
I like physical therapy, strength and conditioning, stuff like that. Probably what I would go into after I get out.
Yeah. Do you think you'll get out soon, or is that like sorry?
Yeah. I'll probably get out.
Yeah.
After I retire.
Yeah.
Sometime after 20 years.
Yeah.
That's the retirement time frame, 20 years. So sometime after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends.
Man. Yeah, that's got to be tough, the every couple of weeks leaving, going somewhere. You're going all sorts of places, right? If it's like the other guys that I know that do what you do.
Yeah.
And they're in like, one guy said he was in Curacao.
Really?
Yeah, or Dallas. You're just always in these all these places.
Yeah.
That's got to be crazy. You're in a different place.
Yeah. I was just in North Carolina, and then going to a med conference, and then I'll be in Texas next month, and then Arizona the month after that.
And so like months in advance where you're going, stuff like that?
Yeah, for the most part.
Man. I guess you rack up the points though, huh?
Yeah, if you stay in the same hotel.
Uh-huh.
For sure. Man,
my wife, she does all her travels and stuff with it. Those points. I've never thought I would think about something like that as much in my life.
Well, I mean, you want to get. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh-huh.
Especially if I have to travel for work.
Yeah.
And not for pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Then like, give me something back so I can go on a family trip.
Oh yeah, totally. Mm-hmm.
Like, make my life a little bit easier for my family trip, where I can get 2 of the 5 nights on points. You know what I mean? And then,
yeah, I love a couple of times we'll stay somewhere, and because of how many points she has, they're like, "Oh, we've gotten you a better room. It's on this part," or, "Oh, this is on us," or we've been traveling, like driving, and it's like pouring down rain, and she's like finds a hotel we can stay at, and it's free.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, it's
So
awesome.
that's great, man. But yeah, points are a thing. I don't care. I love it. Give it to me. Give me all the points.
Yeah, for sure.
You mentioned something about your kid was talking about a cemetery.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was something like. Tell me more about that. I was.
Yeah. Last Halloween, we're like driving through our neighborhood, and he's like, "What are all those things in their yard?"
Yeah.
And it was just, I didn't think anything of it. I was like, "Oh, that's a cemetery. It's like spooky. There's skeletons and stuff
Yeah.
coming up out of the ground. He's like, "What's a cemetery?" I'm like, "Oh shit." I'm like, "Well, that's where we bury our dead."
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "Well, who died?" You're like, "Well, some people just die, some people get old and die." Well, why?
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, you get sick. Some people get sick. Some people get hurt and die. And then he's like, "Well, who do you know that died?" Well, like, "Well, my grandpa, my grandma's, they're both dead." And he's like, "Well, why did they die?" And then it's like, "Well, one had cancer. What's cancer?" And you're like, "Oh my God, dude, stop."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't have all the answers.
Oh, it's so tough.
Yeah.
And then did he start to think about like, well, those are ghosts, so then is grandpa a ghost?
No, hasn't put that one yet together.
Oh,
I don't think.
jeez, because that would be weird.
Yeah.
A weird thing to explain.
Yeah, like, what is a cemetery? They're like, well, why do we bury them?
Yeah.
So we don't get sick. Why would we get sick, though?
It's just a never ending. It's like a hole that you're never going to get out of.
No, not at all.
Because there's going to be a question to the answer. Each answer is going to bring forth a new question.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. He asked about something because he saw a picture of my dad on the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Who'd that?" And I was like, "That's my dad." And he was like, "You mean grandpa?" I was like, "No, that's your mom. That's mom's dad." "Oh, then Opa?" I was like, "No, that's the other, your other dad." Because her parents were divorced. And he was like, "Your dad?" I was like, "Yeah." Well, because my dad died a month before he was born.
Mm-hmm.
So explaining to him like, "Oh, no, my dad died." I just said it. And then he was just like, "Huh." And I was like, "Yeah, he's not around, not here." He goes, "Oh, okay." So I don't know if he got it or anything, but he just now goes, "Okay, that's your dad."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
death is such a thing. It's like when you get a pet. I've been thinking about this because I want a dog real bad. I mean, that's why we have our kid, because I wanted a dog. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I think I've told the story a couple times.
Usually that goes the other way.
No, I wanted a dog. I wanted my whole life. I wanted a English bulldog, and never got to have it for this or that. And I was just thinking about, because I didn't know if I wanted kids.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, I think that I really want this dog, and maybe this is the step towards a kid. Like, this will open my heart to that idea of wanting a kid. So she was like, all right, she wants a kid, and so we were like, all right, so we'll start the process of looking for a bulldog. Because you can't just get a bulldog, you know? You have to go to a breeder and a right breeder, because, I mean, they can have terrible health issues and stuff like that.
Which you don't want.
Yeah.
You don't want them to have that.
And they're like, $5,000.
Yeah.
So it's like an investment. So you have to we were going to save. We started a jar. I started throwing cash and coins in for it. Anyway, a month into the conversation, she's pregnant. And so now I have a kid and I have 2 new cats, but no dog.
Yep.
It's funny.
Yeah. You should definitely get a dog.
Yeah, but you get these animals, right? And then you're teaching them about death because these animals are going to die.
Yeah.
You're like giving them something to they're going to be sad about in a few years, and it's going to wreck them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. That's what I was thinking about this week.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of worth it because, they love it. I mean, I loved all the pets that I had growing up.
For sure.
Yeah. I still think of our cat, Scooter. That cat was... Man, when he died, our family was in mourning for weeks.
Yeah.
It was so funny. My brother, I think this is why he was such a cool cat. My brother hotboxed him a lot when he was a kitten.
Yeah.
And he was just the weirdest little cat, man. A lot of personality. He could open doors and stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody loved him. Friends would be hanging. They thought he was the weirdest and funniest cat ever. And we would whisper his name in the backyard, and you'd see his head pop out of a bush.
Yeah.
And come running out. He would run towards cars in the driveway when they were coming in. He would run toward them, and then right at the last second, he would dart to the side. It was this giant, oh my God. Yeah. He would you would see him flying up the driveway, and then he would just take off right or left, and you're like, oh God.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had gotten him with our dog at the same time at the pound, and so that was another reason why it was so cool because they had a really great relationship. I think they thought each other because we got them at a puppy and a kitten. They both thought that they were the dog thought that the cat was a dog and vice versa.
Right.
And they would play and share bananas and eat each other's food.
Yeah.
And wrestle and stuff and clean each other.
Yeah.
It was wild. But yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, death is inevitable.
Yeah.
It's something that you can't avoid.
Mm-hmm.
And, not getting a dog to avoid having that conversation, which you've already had.
That's true. You're right, Rodney.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shouldn't stop you from getting a dog.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. I haven't thought about Scooter in a while. Anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, having pets is awesome. I mean, yeah, it is. It's great.
Yeah. Also the same reason why you should go hunting.
Why? Because it's awesome?
Because, death is inevitable.
Yeah.
You should go kill something.
I've wanted to have that kind of interaction. I don't know if it's a deer or something, but because I think we're so disconnected from what we eat.
Yes.
That I think it would be good for me to, I don't know if it's going hunting, if it's just processing a chicken myself. Or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or even going fishing and catching a fish and then eating it myself.
Yeah.
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 I got to go fly fishing for the first time a couple weeks ago.
Were you in Jackson?
No, I was in our cabin is it's an hour outside of Stanton, Virginia.
Okay.
On this little river. And so her stepdad is a good fly fisherman.
Yeah.
And so I asked if he could teach me. So I was on this little river with a fly rod, and I actually caught a fish, and I was like, this is the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Because it was textbook. Like, I had already lost 3 of his lures.
Yeah, of course.
The line broke numerous times.
It gets tangled.
And I got it caught in a tree limb. And then, man, the cough is. But then it was the very last one. He thought I got it stuck in a rock, and then it kept moving.
Yeah.
And we were just about to pack it in, and I'm just like, here I am reeling it in. There's this nice little rainbow trout.
Nice.
But we didn't process it and eat it.
Yeah.
He put it back.
Yeah.
So, but that was fun.
We should set up like a fishing charter, like out, like deep sea.
Catch something.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be fun.
I think it's important for us to know. I think we don't know what we eat comes from.
Yeah.
It's just a hamburger to us, or it's chicken nuggets.
Right.
And everyone else before us, they saw it, and it was.
Yeah.
Food had maybe a deeper meaning.
Yes.
To them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of lost on us.
Yeah.
And you get the factory farms and all that stuff, and it's just process.
Right.
That's just, I don't know.
Would there be a greater appreciation?
I think so.
For what you're consuming.
Uh-huh. I think you would. I think you might even eat less, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, for
sure.
But
I feel like the other cultures ate less. I mean, we eat so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I know I do at certain times.
Yeah.
But we just think that, like, we just go to a store and all our food is there, and we have no appreciation for even like how it got there, from the farmers, from the cowboys, the cattle, the ranches, all that stuff. Like what it took to like become that piece of steak.
Right.
It's just a steak.
Right.
And so we're so disconnected from that.
Yeah.
That I think more people should get into it. I mean, I remember my one time I visited my aunt and uncle. They're out in Tennessee, and my dad went with him to process a pig. Mm-hmm. And I remember my dad and him saying, "Boys, that sausage you're eating 2 hours ago was squealing." Yeah, and that was like the craziest thing to like think about.
Right.
Just like, what in the world? That's crazy. But that's how it is. That's how we get the sausage.
Yeah.
So, anyway. So, yeah. Maybe I should go hunting.
Yeah. Fishing.
Okay.
Let's go fly fishing some more.
It's so, like, I think with, like, fishing, what I liked about the fly fishing aspect was you're doing more. Mm-hmm. Because, like, when I watch people just sitting on the beach and just waiting, I mean, that's hard for me to think that I would like. So, like, it was almost like meditative.
For sure.
And you're, like, playing with it and, like, okay, maybe I'll get it here.
I do think fly fishing is probably the funnest fishing.
Yeah. It always looks so cool.
It's peaceful.
Uh-huh.
And you're always, like, it's so, like, serene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, her stepdad's been fly fishing all over the place. He got to go up to Yellowstone to do that a couple times.
Yeah.
Like they took a horse into
That's awesome.
To do that.
Yeah.
I think he did it in Africa too. Or maybe that was just a trip. I'll have to ask him. So So what does fatherhood mean to you?
Man.
What do you look as your role as a dad?
Yeah, that's a tough one, but I would probably say creating like the new generation that's hopefully better than your own generation. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like making it better.
Yeah.
Like can I make his life better than my life was? Can I say and do all the right things to make him a better person than me? And hopefully.
Yeah.
Because on a daily basis, you're like, man, am I saying the right things? Am I doing the right thing?
Oh my God. That's
all
truth
the time,
right there.
It's like, you're like, the other day I was like, whatever, man, I don't care. Just put your shirt on. And
yeah.
He got so upset, and my wife is like, you said you don't care, which he thinks that you don't care about him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, fuck. Like, I don't care what shirt he wears. Like, we're late. You know what I mean? Like,
uh-huh.
So honestly, like, every day, all day, I'm like, am I saying the right things? Am I doing the right thing? Am I making him a better person? Am I doing the things that need to be done to where he grows up to be
Mm-hmm.
a good man?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know that like what she's saying is, kids is truth because kids can't process it like we can.
Yeah.
And they think about those things. I mean, the childhood trauma, and, we talked about that earlier. But, I was talking with someone, and I think that, like, we all think about that. I mean, that's stuff that keeps every parent up at night.
Yeah.
Have they done and said enough and the right? And raising your voice, is this going to be something the kid's going to talk in therapy about when they're in their 20s?
Right.
And you never know. But I think, like, from what I'm seeing and talking with people, it's just parenting. It's like 80% showing up and 20% giving a damn. Right?
Yeah.
You just being there and giving a damn enough to try.
Yeah.
Is kind of, it'll do that, what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can show up all you want, but if you don't care, it's that, like, caring. It's like giving a damn. Just like, I just want that. Just want him to be better, stronger.
Yeah. Yeah. I want him to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Every day I'm like, did you have fun? Did you have a good day?
Yeah.
Today we went. He had summer camp at the field house.
Uh-huh.
And then we went to First Landing and went kayaking.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Ocean Breeze on
Nice.
Friday.
Nice.
I love it because I love water parks.
Yeah.
And I want him, to experience that stuff.
Yeah.
We just got to go to the park today. That was it. We had too many errands to do, but I got him to the park, and it was so funny to watch him. Like, we went to the tennis court at the park, and he found a tennis ball, and all he wanted to do was just throw it.
Yeah.
And he was running across the tennis courts.
Yeah.
Just like throwing it, like, this is amazing, and I'm going to take this tennis ball, and I'm just going to take it.
Yeah.
I felt good with him taking the tennis ball.
Yeah. Sometimes being an adult takes precedence over fun.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, all right, man, it's Saturday. I have to mow the lawn.
Uh-huh.
I gotta wash one of the cars. You know what I mean? Like, you help me wash a car, I'll give you $2 bucks.
I do that with my students. I tell them there's have to do's or there's need to do's and there's want to do's. So let's get this need to do stuff, these tests, this practice out of the way, and then we'll do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So,
That's how I live my life.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go into work and I'm like, I have all these emails and I'm like, I just read like the subject line, like delete, 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 delete.
Yeah.
This one kind of looks important. Open it, read it. Dumb, delete.
Yep.
You know, like, don't have time for this, delete.
Well, any last words?
No, not really.
This was good. Thanks for coming on, Rodney.
Yeah, thank you.
I think that I never take it lightly that you're letting me share your story out into the world. So I appreciate you coming, talking. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, man. And this is the most hydrated I've ever been on a podcast.
I gotta pee again.
So I appreciate that. But as always, be excellent to each other. And see you next time.